it's working fine. Let me also announce it that we are starting. Sorry, I just had to adjust the OBS somehow. Okay. It seems it's working fine. Yeah, there is no lag. Sorry, I'm just testing everything because
No problem.
I want to make sure that there is no lag because sorry, I'm just testing everything because
No problem.
there was a I want to make sure that there is no lag because Okay, let me sit into my original position here. And ladies and gentlemen, let us know if we can start. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. I think everything is okay. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you. Okay, let me know if we can start. If you're down to start.
Yeah, sure, let's start.
Nice. So welcome everyone in my very new episode of my Dev Live show. I'm here today joined with the creator of the game called Zodiac Legion, and I'm very happy and very honored that he joined us for today's episode. Like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction. So please introduce yourself for us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm the creator of Zodiac Legion, indeed. So it's the first game, the first commercial game I have worked on.
Okay.
So I'm alone in the studio.
I see.
I work with freelancers, but so how I started, I wanted to make such a game for quite a long time, actually, because since before the first time I played Red Laser Squad, so it was quite a long time ago, I decided I really wanted to make turn-based games.
I see.
But then something happened. I had to go to college, so I stopped. I started working in a regular software engineering job.
I see.
But then when my wife had to relocate to China for her work, we thought it would be a good opportunity for me to start what I wanted to do. So I started doing game dev and working on the first prototypes of the Zodiac Legion here.
I see.
So I started in Shanghai, but like 10 years ago. So I tried to get back to knowing how to learning game dev by myself, and then once the first prototypes were up, I contracted a few freelancers to have some art to solidify the vision for the game.
I see.
And some of them have worked with me since that time, actually. So, the level designer and writer, he's working with me since this time, and the composer too.
I see. They are so they are really dedicated to your project. It means that, right?
Yes.
That's nice to hear.
And
Nice.
so, yes, and so my core skill was programming before, and it still is. But but I have to take care of all the administrative and marketing aspects too.
I see. Okay. So my very first question would be, what was your very first contact with video games as a player, if you remember those times of your past, of your childhood?
I cannot find the exact time, but I remember the first contact we had was when we were playing at our cousin's home. They had an Atari computer.
Nice.
And they had a lot of cool games like Ikari Warriors and things like that.
I see.
We really wanted to have our own computer.
I see.
So we saved with my sister. We saved everything we could, but it didn't amount to much because we didn't have enough.
I see.
But one day, our father, when we were out in the zoo with my mother, when we went back, our father had bought a computer. He had completed all our missing funds. And so we had a computer ready in our
I
living
see.
room. And the first games we had were Ninja Turtles.
Nice, nice. Love those. Love those. Nice.
Yes. And some clone of asteroids.
I see. I see.
And so it was like when I was 9 year old. So
I
yes, it
see.
was a great memory. And the first game I really couldn't drop was Megalomania.
Okay.
It was like a proto real-time strategy game
I see.
in which you could travel time, like start from the Stone Age and go to the Space Age.
I see. I see.
But
But
and the first game I was then really obsessed with, to the point I wanted to make games, was like they say Laser Squad,
I see. I
because
see. I see.
here too I played it at my cousin's home, but afterwards I was not able to procure the game because I didn't have enough contacts in the like how to say, among people who used to pirate games.
I see. I see. I
And
see.
I couldn't find it in any store either.
I see.
So I started a few years ago to develop my own clone. Of course, it was never completed, but that's how I started really making complex games.
I see. I see. Did you found that game by the way now somehow
Yes,
or? Oh, nice,
yes.
nice. Okay, okay. So you could backlog that game again. I see.
Yes,
Nice,
and
nice,
the
nice.
other games by Julian Golop, like XCOM, was very influential for me.
I see. I see. It's very sad, by the way. It's so hard to get some old school games, right? So if you have to, if you want to like relive your childhood memories and you would like to play again all over again those games and you don't own the disc, it's very hard to get one. So it's very very
Because
sad
it's not the
thing.
same feeling on like emulation. It doesn't feel exactly the same as
True, true, true.
when
Yeah,
it was
because
on
we
the.
grow up, right? So we grew
Yes.
up. So
You don't have like the same noise
true,
the
true,
computer made while he was loading the game and things like that.
true, true,
But
true.
it's still a bit different.
Very true, very true, very true, very true. Okay, so my next question would be again a more personal question. How do you feel about your parents and friends? Were they supportive about the decision of yours that you start making your own game? How do you feel about that?
It quite depends on the friends and parents, but
Okay,
actually, um, my father, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been his first choice, but I
okay,
think at some point he was afraid I would become a professional poker player.
okay,
So he was quite relieved
okay.
in the
That's
end.
totally different. I see.
But I tried actually tried to get some funding through playing poker. Like I was playing half time and
I
trying
see.
to develop a game, but it was too different. So I
I
gave
see.
up because it took too much energy and
I
it
see.
was unrelated. So,
I see.
but yes, most friends and most people who don't really know games just ask me like, when is it finished? But the meaning is like, when do you plan to move on? So,
I see.
but you get used to it, and I think it's quite ordinary.
I see. I see. You mentioned before that there were some times when like you stopped making Zodiac Legion and you came back to making it again. What caused those stops in your life? Like what caused you stopping sometimes in the development process itself?
Sometimes I had to like do some freelance job on the
I see.
side,
I see.
and it can be like relatively long projects,
I see.
and even just finding some friendly contracts before and then executing them. It can take a few months, and then to go back, you lose quite some momentum.
I see. I see. I see. I see.
This was a major reason to have interruptions in the development.
I see. I see. You also mentioned that you are working with freelancers, and there were some freelancers who worked from the very beginning and still work with you now. So they are really dedicated people. By this topic, do you believe in perfect synergy between people, between team members who you are working with? Do you believe that it's something that it develops out through the journey with other people, or it's a click when you meet them? How do you feel about it?
It's a bit of both because
Okay.
yeah, so like in the beginning, the ones who are still working with me, they were really we share the same vision for the
I see.
game.
I see. I see.
While some others just were interested in some aspects, but they were not passionate about it. So,
Okay.
but even then, yes, it's also during the journeys.
Okay.
In fact, like they both want to see the final game materialize.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Okay. I believe that all of us creators who create our own craft, we always intend to put our inner self into what we make as a craft, right? Even if it's experience of losses, love, anything from the past. Is this statement of mine true for your life as a game developer as well? How do you feel about it?
That's a difficult question. I don't know how. I don't know myself whether my experience really
Okay,
translated into my vision of the
okay,
game
okay,
or
okay.
not.
I see. But do you have like any examples that's like influenced the game, like not just by having this love for turn-based games, but also like something from your past that was like
Uh,
even more personal? Like any
Not really.
character art or any gameplay mechanic that like was influenced by something from your personal life. Can you think of something like that or
Not really, but maybe part of the reason I wanted to like make a game about guerrilla warfare,
okay,
even though it's in dungeons,
okay,
was like my mother was Vietnamese, and so
I see,
it kind of talks to me like having outmatched forces
I see, I
fighting
see,
each other.
I see, I see, I see, I get it now. I see. But that's a very nice story in my opinion to tell to the world. That's very nice. That's very nice. Okay. Okay. Have you played, by the way, Heroes games? Have you played Heroes games in general? Any Heroes games? They were turn-based strategy
Yeah,
games too.
sure. Of course, I played the first three,
Nice, nice, nice.
and
Because when first time I saw your game, it was like very reminding me my childhood about with Heroes 3, and it was like laugh for the first time when I saw your game as similar to Heroes. So yeah, at least as for the like graphics and style, art style. So yeah, by that topic that I was mentioning now, what made you choose this art style to your game?
so in the beginning I was not too sure, but
Okay,
it was really I found a good compromise between the art I really liked
okay,
and something I could afford because
I see,
for like how to say high quality pixel art you can
okay,
even with me unlike like 3D you don't have to a huge setup budget. You can
I see,
like if you don't have enough funds you just have less assets but you can still have them of good quality,
I see, I see, I see.
and it was reminiscent of many of the games I liked. So like for environment, I really liked the atmosphere of Diablo and Baldur's Gate.
I see, I see, I see. Okay. Okay. So far throughout the development process of all those years that you worked on Zodiac Legion, what was your favorite part or parts about the development process itself?
Oh, there would not really be a time, but what I really prefer was like when you are altering the gameplay, adding content, things you can immediately test and refine. While the part where you have to work for weeks before implementing something, it's much less satisfying because you don't see the results immediately. And yes, I really like altering the gameplay and adding skills and things like that.
I see. Okay. Okay. Is there something else that was your favorite
No, but
part so far?
actually, yes, I will I would say that but anything that is not related to user interface is something I like because it in the user interface like makes a big part of the work, but it's pretty important for the player.
I
But
see.
it's kind of thankless too. It's not very exciting. So.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. So you have spoken about like the favorite part of the development
Yeah.
process, but what about the hardest part or parts? What were those, if there were any hard parts
Yes.
or challenging
One
parts?
Yes, some of the hard parts. So like shaders, I'm not very good at
Okay,
writing shaders. I have little experience, so
okay,
every time I have to dig into the shader codes, and I I waste quite a long time
I see,
remembering how it works.
I see,
So it's very inefficient. So it's quite hard for me
I see,
because I don't do it often enough.
I see.
And the hard part is everything related to procedural generation because
Okay,
it's very hard to test. Like uh, yes, you because when tester reports some issues, I have first of all very hard time reproducing them,
I see,
and even if they happen, it's very hard because I have to like set up everything I needed in the log beforehand
I
because
see.
even with the game seed, it's very hard to recreate them.
True, true, true. And it's random, right? So it's like hard to
Yes,
test. Yeah.
uh,
Okay, okay,
exactly.
okay. I was wondering what influenced the story itself of the whole game, because you were talking about the influence that was behind the gameplay itself, the love for turn-based strategy and RPG games. But what influenced the story itself of the game? I was wondering about that. If you could tell us more about that.
Yes, but for the general story, we wanted to have a setup a bit like XCOM, but in fantasy, so with
Okay,
magic, with replacing technology by magic, so
I
with
see, I see, I see, I see.
a strong enemy faction having access to magic, and you will have to catch up by doing research and doing artifacts. And for the theme itself, it was a combination. We were looking for a way to make characters stand out from each other.
I see,
We thought that the Zodiac theme gave us a good opportunity to do so. And as the Zodiac is already associated with magic, with mysticism at least, it was not a very big stretch to give it other magic powers.
I see.
And I really liked the anime like Saint Seiya, Knights of the Zodiac when I was
Okay,
kid. So maybe it played. So when I was proposed this idea, I was very glad to accept it because it was like the first who proposed it was the artist
okay,
in the beginning because they thought that it would lead to more interesting design, and then we built up from this, and we are quite happy with the decision.
I see, I see. Okay,
And the last part was that we liked the stories of the medieval knightly orders like
okay,
the Templar, Hospitallers, and
okay,
Teutonic. So we wanted to have a similar organization because we thought it would fit well with a small group of knights
I see,
in a magic settings.
I see, I see. Okay. So you mentioned that so far it took you a lot of years with breaks to develop the game so far. I was wondering, were there anything that has to be cut off from the game and it won't be there, or it will be there in like the future updates when the full game is released?
Yes, sadly, there are a few things I had to either put on hold or yes, reserve for future time, and probably even after release, like if the game is successful enough for DLC. So in the beginning, I really wanted to have mounted combat in the game, like
Okay,
cavalry, and
okay, okay, okay.
because it works better with knights.
True, true,
But
true, true, true.
it
It makes
it
sense,
was
right? At the end of the day, yeah.
too many assets and too much complexity.
I see.
So we had to put it for later. Same for fortifications. I wanted to have castles and such, but they had to be moved further away.
I see. I see.
So either for full release or maybe for even later.
I see.
And so we had, of course, we had a few other ideas we had to totally give up, like
Okay.
co-op mode and things like that.
Okay. I knew that there should be a co-op mode. I knew that. I knew that it would make
Yeah, I
sense.
would
Yeah.
have loved it, but I don't think we have time for that.
I see. And are you planning to get back to those ideas after you launch the full game? Like, is it something that like players can wait for maybe after the launch, like future updates or DLCs or something?
Depends. It really depends on how it goes because we
Okay,
launch in early access and then we have to implement all the content planned for
I
the
see,
game itself.
I see, I see.
And then later, yes, I would love to, but it really depends on how sustainable it is and
I see,
how much work it is.
I see, I see, I see,
Because you mentioned Heroes, but yes, Heroes was really the best, one of the best co-op experience I had early on. So
true, true. Yeah, and making the networking or network system and the
yeah.
server system around the online co-op is very hard in my opinion, right? So it's like it takes more time in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to see maybe with like a Steam remote play together, it
Yeah, true,
might
true,
be.
true. That's what I wanted to say is that remote play helps. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. So I believe that all of those old school games that you mentioned at the very beginning of our interview, they were way harder than nowadays games. What was the difficulty setting goal with your own game? Were you influenced by those hardcore games from your past, or you wanted to like be appealing with your game for like much more casual audience as well? What was the idea and the goal behind the difficulty setting of Zodiac Legion?
We plan to have the game be challenging, but
Okay,
we'll add difficulty settings too. But
I see.
more than the challenge itself, what I really liked in the old XCOM game was like the fact that you could lose quite a few characters, and there was no really good way around it
I see.
except by saving for every shot.
I see.
And so I want to have like the same, not maybe game difficulty, but the same brutality in combat
I
that
see.
you are expected to take losses
I
and
see. I see. I
move
see.
on.
Okay.
So and even like lose half of your team and still be happy about the result in the end. So
I see. Okay. Okay. What's the special and unique feeling about turn-based system in video games? How do you feel about that? Why people are so obsessed with turn-based games? Like I am, because my one all-time favorite game is Final Fantasy X, which is a turn-based JRPG. So why it's so appealing to people to have turn-based combat in games? I do think so. Then.
I cannot really answer for other people, but for me, what I
Okay.
really like about turn-based games is that you have to plan for everything that will happen
Okay.
outside of your turn.
Okay.
And that is why I love randomness because it gives you other things to plan during your own turn because you cannot be sure that what you do will have the expected results.
True. True.
Like, it's another game that was quite influential in the design. It was Blood Bowl because I really liked the way they address like randomness control.
Okay. I see. I see. Is there anything more that you would add to this?
Um, So yes, and in the old XCOM, you had this phase where the screen was dark and they were making you would only listen to the enemy sound. It was quite atmospheric too because you were really like afraid for your characters.
True. 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 True.
So I think it can raise the tension quite a bit compared to a real time game.
True. 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 Very true. Very true. I agree with you on that. Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned that you started like having this feeling of making video games that you want to like pursue as a dream and of a career in your life. Can you see yourself in the future making games after launching Zodiac Legion, or is it something that like you would like to take a break from making games after the release of Zodiac Legion? How do you feel about it?
No, I would really love to be able to
Okay,
continue making games.
okay, okay, okay. Do you
But
have?
it will depend a lot on the success of the Jack
I
Legends.
see, I see, I see. And do you have like any other plans for your future games, or it's still like something that you will mess with
Well,
after the Zodiac Legion release?
I have several ideas, but they are just ideas at this stage. I'd like to have something involving ships and crew, so either in space or on
Okay,
sea. Like to have both
okay. Are you?
boarding and exploration, things
I
like
see,
that.
I see. Are you planning like to make more turn-based games as well, or are you
Yes,
like
yes,
aiming for?
for
Sorry.
several reasons. But one reason would be to reuse what I wrote as
Oh,
much
okay.
as possible
Oh, okay.
because
Okay.
I'd rather have the next game be a bit shorter on development time.
I see. Yeah, it makes
With,
sense, right? Because it's like 10 plus years or so that you mentioned. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
but it's also what I really like. So
I see.
because yes, real-time games don't inspire me as much. Even though at some time I was like playing competitive RTS, but
Okay.
anyway,
Okay. Okay.
I start to be a bit too old to appreciate them, so
I see. I
they
see. I
don't have
see. Time, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
the
Speaking.
speed to play anymore.
I see. I see. I see. Speaking of, by the way, time that you mentioned, how do you found or how do you find balance between like your everyday life, work, and also making your own game? Is it hard to find a balance between those things in your life?
Yes, quite a bit actually, because
Okay,
there is so much to do. You are never really finished. Every time I take a break, I feel like I shouldn't, but and
you have to, right? You have to sleep at the end of the day. I
but
see.
on the other side, it's quite nice because like when the kids are home, I'm always there, so
I see.
it makes the logistics a bit easier in
I
a
see.
way.
I see.
Even though like I cannot interact much with them while I'm working. Know that they accept, they don't, they aren't supposed to barge into the office where I work.
I see.
But so it's a bit of both. It's a bit mixed. But I'm quite happy because in the end, I can still see the kids quite often and take care of quite many things that would be harder to do from an office. So even though I never feel like I really have free time because I'm never really done.
I see.
I like it, and I can have my own times because I feel much more productive during the evening and the night,
I see.
so I can have my own working hours.
I see. I see. I see. Okay. How have you changed, by the way, as a person in other territories of your own life from being a game developer now?
um, one one of the hard things is maybe that as a solo developer, especially, I don't see many other people. I don't interact much with other guys because even the contributors to the game, I almost never talk with them. We
I
just
see.
chat on Discord.
I see.
So I have very little interactions,
I see.
really interactions,
I see.
apart with friends from time to time. But
I see. Okay.
so that's the main change that I spend a lot more time alone than before
I see.
when I was in an office.
I see. I see. Okay.
But as an introvert, I think it's a fair compromise. I don't mind it that much.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Is there anything else, by the way, that you can think of?
Um, how it changed me. Yes, because yes, I have like a bit much better discipline than when I started. Because
Okay.
when I started, I was like I felt lost. I did not know how to start because at first it was very intimidating. So now
I see.
I built like yes, not only discipline but also I know how to handle the early parts of the project and
I see.
like I try to when I feel like I'm a bit lost. I try to just focus on the small picture. I know people tell you to do the other thing, but I try to not think about all the things that needs to be done, but only focus on the small
Small
task at hand.
steps. Yeah.
Yes.
I see. I see. I see. I see. So, since you mentioned that it took a lot of years to develop your game so far, were there any times when you like started questioning yourself and like you were like, okay, I want to give up, or I don't know, I just want to take a break from it because it's like very frustrating, or I'm starting to get burnt out from the project or making the project, or it never happened.
Actually, it happens quite enough to have some times where it feels maybe I never really wanted to give up, but there are times when my morale was quite low because
I see.
like the first time I went to a convention, physical one, um, turn-based game are first of all not great fit for this because it's very noisy. People cannot concentrate and they want to play something
True,
and have
true,
to get
true, true.
so I was alone with on my booth with very few people attending.
I see.
And and it was very disheartening to see people interact with the game and be confused about the interface
I
because
see.
the interface didn't click. So it made me realize that that for people who wouldn't read the explanation, the game was very difficult to handle.
I see.
It was so yes, I was a bit. I felt a bit down after that.
I
It
see.
was 5 years ago.
I see.
That's shortly before COVID, and so. Yes, it was maybe the worst time, and we had quite a few rejections too from different programs. I worked a lot on the interface afterwards,
I see.
and things started to align and to go well around 2020. So at this time, we had our first article in a newspaper, and the game was much smoother to play, and that's the time people started being interested in the game.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see.
But then there are even after you feel like you've put every hardship behind, or you get a new times when you feel like you are crossing the desert. So after the initial boost, I felt it was very hard to maintain interest and momentum during the parts where when I was working on the procedural generation, I had nothing to show for almost 1 year.
I see.
So it was quite hard because you have nothing really to talk about. Like you can just tell your fans that you are working on it, but you have nothing to show for.
True, 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 very true. So they don't know what's happening, right? You are just working on it.
And
Yeah,
you have
it's
to
hard.
try to figure out why things go wrong.
True, true, true,
Like none of the levels are playable. And
true, very true, very true. What helped you through those times, like you mentioned before, that these down times of your life when you like started to questioning yourself, even if it's worth it or not, to make your own game? What helped you through and not to give up?
yeah, because anyway, no, I cannot really because the first time it happened, it was already a bit late in the development, so
I see.
I couldn't just. And it feels like anyway, I still have the vision of the game I want to make,
I see. I
even
see.
through sometimes it's hard. I feel like if I make it close enough to my vision, it will be a good game anyway.
I
So,
see. I see. I see. I
it's
see.
what helped me every time.
I see.
And with the experience, I know that. Every problem you can find a solution for, but it just
True.
takes time.
True. 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 Okay. Okay. I was wondering, by the way, are you planning to release your game for other platforms as well, or is it just PC so far that you are planning to release Zodiac Legion for?
You mean consoles?
Yeah.
No, I didn't plan to. Maybe I was thinking about Switch
Okay.
before, but I'm not sure. It will depend.
Okay.
I'll just focus on PC first, and then if there is interest, and maybe after the release on PC, I'll see about porting the game.
I see.
But as I don't choose really like one of the main engines, but a very small one.
Okay.
Maybe I'm one of the last ones to work on it. It will be much harder for me to port than if it
I
was
see.
made with Unity or something like that.
I see. I see. Okay. And what about the physical editions? Since you mentioned that you had this care for like physical editions, right? To have games in your hands that you love to play with as a kid. What about your game? Would you like to have a physical edition of your game too?
Yes, I would like to, but
Okay.
I would totally have gone with a physical edition if we went to Kickstarter, for instance. But
Okay.
here it will. I don't think. I don't think I'll do it because it will be too much. Too much things to plan for, and
I see. I
I'm
see.
already stressing,
I see. I see. Okay. Okay.
and I
What?
have no experience with working with suppliers for these kind of things. And
I see. Okay. Okay. What about publishers? Are you planning to have a publisher, or are you planning to publish your game by your own self?
that's a very good question. Actually, I'm not 100% set on the question. So,
Okay.
I've talked with a few of them, but every time we decided that we'll see later because I think I mean I don't need a publisher right now
Okay.
because I have sufficient funds
I
to
see.
finish by myself.
I see.
Um, and I'd rather keep the freedom. And I think anyway for talking with the publisher, you are still negotiating, so it's better to for the game to be as close to completion as
True.
possible.
True.
So
True.
for
Very
now,
true.
I'll see later if I think it really adds enough for me because I don't mind handling marketing by myself. So maybe
I
the
see.
issues I would be more reluctant to address would be like localization and like not only localization but like working with other countries
Okay.
like China or
Okay.
even Japan, which have different, very different markets.
True. 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 Very true. Okay. Okay.
So I'm open about it, but it's not something I'm really thinking about at
I
this
see.
time.
I see. I see. I see. Yeah, and it makes sense because, like you said, it's rather to have a full case project that you can show to the publisher, right? And it's also about not having a sacrifice in the freedom of your own creative process, right? Because there are some
Yes,
publishers who might say that, okay, it's not working for you, right? And you don't want to sacrifice your own freedom, so it's matter for you, and I think it's very important. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What about the music part of your game? Are you working with a music composer, or is it something that you're doing it by yourself as well?
no, I'm working with a music composer,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I don't think we have we haven't added a new track for
I
for
see.
quite a long time actually.
I see.
But we already have a composer. He is like he mostly has a classic music background,
I see. I see. I see. Okay.
but he was quite passionate about all games, and he experienced even with chip tunes and
I see.
things that are even older schools than what we are trying to do.
I see. I see. I see. Nice. 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 Okay.
And actually, I was really one of the music inspiration. I really loved the music in the original Chaos Gate game, the
Okay.
Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate,
Okay.
because it felt like it had like chorus and
Okay.
vocals, and they even have some Latin, so it
True.
was quite fitting for the setting. And I wanted to have same kind of music that could feel like it was made in the setting and not just for the game.
I see. I see. I see. Like those war themes, right? When like the units
Yes.
gather together and type up each other. Those are beautiful chords, yeah, and vocals in the musical scores, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What can you tell us more about the gameplay itself? Like we talked about that you're planning it to be like a more hardcore turn-based thing. What special segments will your game have uh, in the full launch? Like what are those segments of the gameplay aspect of your game that you are still planning to add to your game, but you might not show it for example, in the Steam page or in the videos? If you
Uh,
can also talk about that for us.
yeah, sure. So for now, the demo is mostly about the tactical part.
Okay.
So where
Okay.
the turn-based combat, or you lead your own party across dungeons. But
Okay.
we are working now on the adding back the outdoor maps to have more
Okay.
variety
Okay.
in missions. And afterwards, we'll go back to like the meta progression, every strategic aspect where the missions influence
I see.
the situation, the political situation. Like in the game, you have several kingdoms next to you
Okay.
that will feel either closer to you or to your opponent.
I see.
So like to the League of Wizards you are fighting against. So the part we will add later will be the strategic part itself,
I see. Okay.
and so the stronghold management too, like where you build with research and facility buildings and
Okay.
allocating your characters here.
I see.
Like choosing one to be a bit like in King Arthur, where King Arthur Knight's Tale, where you choose who will be the master of the hospital and things like that.
I see. I see. Okay. You mentioned that there will be like some random generated aspects of the game as well. Is it only the maps or the enemies, or is it the story itself as well that will be like generated a bit
So
randomly, or how does it work? Like what kind of aspects are randomly generated in your words of Zodiac Legion?
for the maps themselves, yes,
Okay.
they are not totally randomly generated.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
so we have like a preset blocks
Oh, I
that
see.
are
So
arranged
it's choosing
together.
from those, right? Okay. Okay.
And then the connections are also randomly generated so that
I see.
they are not the same every time.
I see. I see. I see.
And then for the map, the strategic situation itself, it will be a bit. We want to have a dynamic campaign,
I
so
see.
it will be a bit like in the first, the older XCOM, where
Okay.
like the AI would decide on a mission, and if you notice it, you can stop it by
I see.
sending your adventurers.
I see.
So there will be some randomness as to like which of the nearby kingdom will be first infiltrated, which
I
one
see.
will
I
be
see.
closer to you than to the AI.
Okay. Okay. I see. Is there
But
something
no, we
else?
are not like no real random progression of the
I see.
story.
I see. I see. I see. So you cannot miss like the core parts of the story, right? By being or having this random aspect
Actually,
of
we
the
are
game.
trying to have like the strategic part feel a bit like simplified for
I see.
X.
I see. Okay. Okay. See. Are there going to be, by the way, multiple endings to the story, or are you planning to just have one ending in the story, or you are not sure
Actually,
about it yet?
we'd like to have like several possible victories. So
Okay.
depending on thresholds, but it's not set in stone yet. But
I see.
like depending on, for instance, how many of your citizens were killed, you would get different story, different result in the end. A bit like a score in a way.
I
So
see.
with several threshold,
I see. I
but
see.
it's not. It might also be depending on. Maybe closer to what they do in Civilization, several victory conditions that would lead to a different ending. So it's not decided yet.
I see. I see. I see. What was your favorite unit to design or to work on for Zodiac Legion, or to like experiment with and put into your game?
Oh, the one we had the most fun adding was like the Taurus character,
Okay.
the Knight of Taurus, because he can like open a breach in walls
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and modify the geometry of the dungeon.
Okay. I see. I see. Okay. Okay.
But
What?
we are still not sure about how we will balance it in the final game, because now
I
he
see.
can like do this for every room, but it needs to be a bit turned down probably.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. You mentioned before in the beginning of our interview that you were up for playing and loving like multiplayer real-time strategy games as well. Are you also have any plans for adding like a PvP mode for your game in the future after launch? Is it something that you had in your mind sometimes, or there are no
Uh,
plans for that?
no, I don't really have plans for that, but
Okay,
in the early prototypes, I wanted to do something like that, like
I
you would
see.
fight against, like a bit like have I don't know, some nexus where you, but so it would have been a separate mode where you would
Okay,
send your party against other,
okay,
and but no, it would be too different from the base game, so I
I
don't
see.
think we'll have that.
I see. I see. I see. I see.
Not in this game, actually. But yes, it was something that I was interested in at first.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay. You were talking about also the balance. How hard was it, or how easy was it to like implement the balance between all the units to work it out? That every unit matters really, and not any of them like too powerful as well.
Mm. Oh, actually, we are quite in. It's still very hard to balance.
Okay.
But both for the opponents, like it's hard to cause them effectively correctly. Like some missions feel very very hard because the random opponents that were spawned were much harder than in some other missions for
I
the
see.
same budget.
I
So
see.
so this part is already difficult.
I see.
Because and it also depends on the random synergies
I see.
and on how things happen in the mission. Like sometimes it's more like not only on the opponent level but on the dungeon level too. Some random situations are much harder than others.
I see. I see.
Like if too many opponents see you in the beginning and start opening doors, and so then the full dungeon goes after you, it can be very very hard.
I see. But you still can defeat those units in that harder dungeon, right? So it's not impossible. I mean,
No, it's feasible, but
okay.
it makes for a very very hard beginning.
I see. I
And then
see.
between heroes, we wanted to like have separate characters, like the ones who are not yet how to say imbued with magic,
Okay.
and the
Okay.
ones who got magic, yes, zodiac powers.
I see. I see. I see.
So we wanted to make the first ones like easier to kill and less important.
I see. I see. Okay.
But then we have to find a good way to not force the player to choose like too many skills when they level up before they
I
die
see.
because it gets taxing. So we're trying to find a good way to also balance like the effort needed on a character and the time he's supposed to live. Because in the older XCOM, for instance, your characters could die very quickly, but you didn't spend so much time. Uh, sh- um, Taking care about them apart from choosing the equipment. That was all you basically did,
I see. I see.
and renaming them too. Uh, and so the other part for the leveling is balancing is between different zodiac classes.
Okay.
But we are trying to make it to give incentive to like not use the same ones every time. There will be because they will play very differently, and some will probably be more useful. But we are trying to make it so that, like for instance, on the month of Taurus, he's more efficient so
I
that
see.
even the weaker ones would have their time to shine.
I see. I see. Okay. Yeah, that
And we are
makes
also trying to encourage like not using the same in every playthrough, so it will depend on what you can find like as a random items and
I see.
also randomize the skills of the character. A bit like in Heroes, actually, it was one of
I see.
option for leveling up, like having maybe a bit more choice than in Heroes of Might and Magic, but like picking one skill among four or six.
I
Each
see.
level up
I see.
to have characters that would not necessarily be balanced but different enough so that you don't always take the same thing
To challenge, to have a challenge with him. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That
and
makes
to have
sense.
some yes to not have every playthrough play the same.
Very same. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. You also mentioned, and it's also like in the description of your Steam page, and you also shared about it on your Twitter page as well, that players will be able to develop out their own kingdom as well, and to evolve their kingdom as well. How that works? So after completing a dungeon or a run, you instantly gain some experience points, and by that you will be able to, like, you know, evolve your kingdom, and how it will affect the actual play and the units evolving system.
Well, the kingdom development will be a bit simple, but it's most like
Okay.
some mission will give you access to magic resource, for
Okay.
instance.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so then you can use them to craft some items and
I see.
or to empower a new character.
I see. I see.
And
I see.
also making the nearby kingdoms you ally will help you. They will give you some bonuses,
Okay.
either like recruits
I
or
see.
special resource that will help you. And they will also extend the range at which you can send your characters in mission.
I see. I see.
So like it's kind of so it will be simplified, of course, because we cannot add too much complexity to the supporting layer, I'll say.
I see. I see. Okay.
But we still want to like represent things like we are engaged in border conflict. And we also wanted to have some like micro campaigns, like
Okay.
several limited missions
Okay.
that would, for instance, decide the outcome of like yes, military campaigns or like several linked missions for taking over a city or things like that.
I see. I see. I see. Okay. You also mentioned, by the way, crafting. So will us players have to farm materials for those items that we want to craft, or it will be like very normal drop for us players to have after the mission, so that we can instantly craft something from that mission?
For crossing, if you wanted to like some get some resource in the dungeons
Okay.
that you would use to craft, but not too a bit like and so some base magic, a bit like in XCOM actually,
I
where
see.
you have like the special materials like
I see.
Elerium, and then have some like a modifier gem, a bit like
I
they
see.
were to to put here to give to align an item with one of the signs.
I see. Okay.
So actually, we wanted just to tie this to the zodiac sign so that each sign would have different set of powers for its
I see.
items.
I see. I see. I see. I see. And are those crafting materials will be like randomized, or they will be like fixed to a dungeon, an exact dungeon?
A bit of both. Actually,
Okay.
there would be like some resource node, some province that would provide fixed resources.
I see. I see.
And but in the dungeon, what you will find will be randomized. Yes.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay.
But actually, it could also depend a bit on the theme of the dungeon. Like if one dungeon is
I see. I see. I
more of a
see.
water theme, then the item will be more aligned to the water signs.
Connected to it. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. Okay. 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 So before I will ask some more questions, are you down to answer some questions from my chat, from my community as well? Are you down to it?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Okay, let us know, ladies and gentlemen, if there is any question. Let us know. Let us know. Before I ask some more questions. Let us know. Hölgyek, urak, bármilyen kérdés? Any question? Any question? Any question? Let us know. Let us know. Bármilyen kérdés, hölgyek, urak? Any question? I will also share again the Steam page of your game, because I shared it at the beginning, but it somehow disappeared. So let me do that again. Okay, while we are waiting for questions, my sorry, personal question would be: do you feel like you found yourself now in your life, and do you feel like you are in the right spot now that you making your own games? Because like you said, it was a dream for you. So do you feel like now that you're actually living your dream. You found yourself in life, and you are in a, let's say, good spot in your life or better spot.
Oh, it's funny because it kind of feels like I'm in the right spot, but it's also feel a bit like, you know, the Schrödinger cat,
Okay.
which is both alive and dead at the same time.
True. True.
As the
True.
game is not out yet, it's very hard, like, to,
True. 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 True.
to know whether it's a dream coming together or it was all a nightmare.
Yeah, because there are hard parts on the journey, right? But you have to take those hard parts. Yeah.
Yes.
And it will be probably a relief for you when you like release the full game. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You were also talking about the Kickstarter option for your game to, for example, for the physical option, or
Yes.
maybe like anything like added, like the console version. Are you planning to do a Kickstarter, or it's still that something that you're thinking of but not sure?
I had been thinking about it for since the beginning, almost since the beginning, yes.
Okay, so
But
it's a lot of years then.
it will take too much of development time because
I see.
I don't have anyone to
To manage
maybe the
it.
writer could handle some of the campaign, but
I see.
it would be too much, and I don't have that much funding problem actually because
I
I got
see.
some public funding in France, so
I see.
I'm good for now. So I'd rather just get the game out as soon as possible now.
I see. I see. So
But yes, that was something I wanted to do, but in the end, and with so many failed Kickstarters, I think it's a bit harder than it used to anyway. So
true. 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 Very true. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Very true. Okay. You mentioned that like you want really to like now release your game. What's the release date plan, right? Because there is a release date goal or plan on your Steam page, but is that release date correct, or are you going to change
I,
it?
I thought it was still coming soon, but I have to check. But yes, I think the release date was is planned for June. That's correct.
Next year, second quarter,
Yes,
if I'm correct.
yes, the end of June, if all goes
Okay,
according to plan.
okay, okay, okay. And will it be like a full release of your game, or are you planning to release like an early access version of the
No,
game
it
and
will be
then?
in early access,
Okay, okay, okay.
and it will only contain the first part of the campaign.
I see, I see, I see. Okay. So what about the length of your game? What is the goal of the full released version? Like
The
not the
goal
early access, but the full released version.
for a playthrough would be like 30 hours or so.
Okay. Okay.
Mm. Maybe a bit more if you play cautiously.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. Going back again to the difficulty setting topic, you mentioned that you really loved hardcore games and you still have passion for those. Are you planning to also add like very hardcore difficulty setting to those fans who love the genre so much?
For the we plan to add like Iron Man settings
Okay, okay,
to, and some intermediary like only saving on the strategic map
okay, okay, okay,
or only saving like every 3 months or something like that.
okay.
So traveling
That's
location
really
from
hard,
place.
yeah. Okay, I see, I see, I see. Are you going to like play through those too?
Yes, of course.
Nice, 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 nice,
Yeah, I
nice.
typically play these kind of games, Iron Man. So yes.
I see, I see, I see. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, let us know. Speak up, speak up. I know it's work time around this time of clock, but let us know if there is any question. Hölgyek, urak, hogyha bármi kérdés van, nyugodtan kérdeztek. Let us know, let us know. Speak up. Speak up. If you have some break from the work, speak up. If you have any questions, speak up. What influenced, by the way, the name of or the title of your game? If we can
Uh,
speak about that too.
we had a hard time coming with a name actually.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
why the Black Legion? Because we because of the Zodiac theme, of course. And then we in the settings, in the background of the
Okay.
game, it was like a magic reappears every few hundred of years. And so the last time it was during some kind of magic Roman Empire, so that's why
Okay.
the organization was called the Legion, and so we kept this name.
I see. I see. Okay.
Because it's the name of the organization the player is controlling.
I see. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know, by the way, if there is any more question or there is any question. Let us know. Let us know. Bármilyen kérdés, hölgyek, urak? Any question? How have your perspective, by the way, changed now that you are working on video games as a player? So how do you like view in another perspective, if you view games in another perspective as a player from being a game developer now for so many years?
Actually, one thing that changed that no,
Or it haven't changed?
no, actually, I played this. No, I understand better when a game has a really terrible UI, but it's very
Okay.
complex. A bit like the Dominions game,
Okay.
because it's a trade-off. Every time you spend you spend on the UI, you cannot spend on the content.
True, 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 true,
So I
true.
understand better some choices that were made.
I see, I see, I see, I see. Okay. And
And
any other
but
examples?
as a player, it also like as I said, I always feel like I should be working, so I mostly play turn-based. So I
I
almost
see,
entirely play turn-based game because at least I say it would help me find what works and what doesn't in the recent games of the genre.
I see, I see, I see, I see. Okay. Okay. You also mentioned that like you played so many turn-based games and you always had this passion for these games. How did you manage to not be too much of influenced of these games but still have your own vision?
Uh,
And when was the first time that you developed out this vision of yours to this game? Because we haven't talked about that before.
Regarding the not being too influenced,
Okay.
like I played so many different games that there wouldn't be enough for. There would be too many competing influence in a way,
Okay.
so
Okay. 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 It
it's
makes
not
sense. Yeah. It will be a mix
actually.
of from
Yes.
everything, right? So yeah, it ends up being nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
So the main inspiration was XCOM, but as it's it's about shooting, it's
I
very
see.
very different because
True. True.
it
True.
doesn't play the same as you are. As going melee make everything like smaller.
I
Like you
see.
have to everything the action happens in a much tighter space.
I see.
So it changed the full dynamic. So we had to make the combat totally different than in XCOM anyway.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay.
And
Anything
what
else?
there was another question?
So what was the influence? Or sorry, not the influence, but
Oh yeah,
when did you develop out your own vision for the influence of your own game?
oh, that's a good question because in the beginning it was just the pitch was just like fantasy XCOM,
Okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
then.
Okay.
As soon as we started like prototyping real
I see.
combined dungeon, like so it was around like we made quite a few different prototypes, but
Okay.
the f- the mechanism the first mechanism that didn't change were probably implemented around 2016.
I see.
So as we decided to go with like hexagons and to go with this kind of turn system.
I see. I see. I see.
But yes, but the vision for the like strategic layer came afterwards.
see.
as time went, because we wanted the initial plan was much more complex, but then it would be too much work, too long to add, and it would detract from the core of the game, which is the tactical combat anyway.
I see.
So we decided to tone it down. But the vision for the tactical game, the tactical combat, has started to emerge around 2016. And we went with the core system for like the way support works, the way the characters support each other and things like that.
I see. I see. I
And
see.
also to that we decided to go like to make objectives quite important in the game.
I see.
All the special tiles we need to activate, either to help you or to complete the mission.
I see. I see. I see. You mentioned before your personal connection and what was the influence behind the story with your personal connection with the story of your mother, own mother. Um, what kind of core message would you like to give with that personal touch and with the story of yours to the players, if you have any personal like core message that you would like to add or give to the players when they play your game? Because I assume that of course it's one side, it's the gameplay that itself will be very appealing to the people, right? The turn-based combat of lovers of this genre, but also like there is a story that has this personal touch from your own life, from your family life. What would be the core message that you really would like to give to the players when they consume and play your game and enjoy the story also?
I don't know if there is really a core message, but I wanted to make one about. I wanted just that I wanted to give this feeling in the game to fight against a stronger foe and
Okay,
get to defeat it through cunning and dedication.
I see.
But actually, I was thinking about whether like the game should reflect our views of the world, but it's a bit too. I just wanted in the end to make cool settings for the player to try to make interesting decisions in the end.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Okay. A not video game connected question of mine would be: I was interested what's that piece of art behind you? What it represents? Is it a game oriented piece of art or is it from XCOM actually?
It was just one of the posters I had for a convention. I had made it for the game, but as
Oh,
I don't go
okay.
to the physical convention anymore.
Oh, so it's about your game. Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay, 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 okay. I was thinking about that. It's probably there is like a QR code for the people can see it, right? Too
Yes,
nice, nice,
because I had
lovely.
as a convention for to serve as a banner, but
Oh, so it's basically the banner for your game. I see, I see, I
yes,
see, I
that's
see.
right.
Nice,
But
nice, nice.
as I decided that it was too much time for away from
Physical
development.
edition, see? Physical editions. We already have those, right? Nice, 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 nice. Nice, nice. Love that, love that, love that. Okay. Before I will go into some more questions, is there anything, by the way, anyone from the chat, from the community who that you would like to ask? Let us know, let us know. Hölgyek, urak, bármilyen kérdés? Bármilyen kérdés, let us know. Let us know. Let us know, let us know. Nyugodtan kérdezzetek, hölgyek, urak, hogyha van bármilyen kérdés. Make sure to write down your questions if there is any. Is there anything, by the way, that we haven't touched as a topic and you would like to talk about?
Oh, that's no, I'm not too sure. I don't have much to add that comes to my mind now.
Okay. Let me know. Let me know if you would like to share anything before I will ask some
Maybe
more
about
questions.
like balancing the different parts of
Okay.
development where you are alone.
Okay.
There are a lot of competing tasks,
Okay.
even things as trivial as like administrative works, things like that, because I also have to do boring things like taxes and
The boring
so
stuff, right?
yeah, because also yes, I have like some administrative phobia, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. So.
True. 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 Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so there are quite a many aspects like marketing too,
Okay.
because it like takes you away from developing because you have
True.
to
True.
think
True.
about. But then for marketing, I know I'm trying uh, to think about like always working on things can show and not like I did before, spend 1 year before having something to show, but just always try to dedicate part of the development time to things that will be easy to talk about.
I see. I see. I see.
And so the other aspect, yes, even the like funding used to take quite some time because you have to like in my case I went through like public funding, so
I see. I see.
you
I
have
see.
to make a very long to fill very long forms
I see.
about explaining why your game is cool and how you will use their funds and things like how it will benefit the country and things like that.
True. 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 Very true. Very true. Yeah.
So, so I think one of the hard parts is like going from one task to another because
I see.
you lose quite a lot of energy every time.
I see. I see.
So in the end, I procrastinate all the secondary tasks until the last moment. Like I take care of administration only after the tax office
I see.
tells me I'm late. And for the public grants, the same. I did them both. I did both applications like 2 days before the limit.
I see.
And I tried not to think about all the smaller stuff
I see.
otherwise.
I see. I see. Would you, by the way, rather work in a team to help you out, or like you mentioned, because like you like to more working alone? Would you rather like work alone, really? Because, like you said, sometimes it's hard, right, to find the balance between all those tasks. But would it be helpful for you if people would like help out, those who really share your vision, like you said before, or it's a no go for you, total no and red flag,
Oh,
and rather you work alone in every territory that you can like think of and challenge yourself every time?
yes, that's what I decided to do in the beginning, like working alone in every territory I could, because it was more a question of funds than anything else.
I see.
So
I see.
now, because yes, I prefer just to keep the funding for things I cannot do by
I
myself and
see. I
are
see. I
very
see. I see.
important.
It makes sense. Yeah.
But I try not to spend them on things the player won't see.
I see.
Or yeah. And
I see.
so maybe later when there is more non-game stuff to do
I
and
see.
have more funds, I would also let someone do it.
I see.
But the problem with having a team is that it also makes the whole thing much riskier.
I
At
see.
this time, if it doesn't work, I'm the only one to be impacted. But if I have a company in France, it's even harder because you cannot. You have to be sure about the people you work with because a bad hire can be very very expensive.
I see. I see.
And so it would be too much risk. So I think for the time being, I prefer this way of working alone and working with freelancer for the things that I think they will do much better than me.
I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Okay.
But eventually, yes, sometimes I miss not having the atmosphere working with colleagues and chatting.
Yeah, because you
But
mentioned that it's something that you are missing from your
yeah,
life
sure.
right now. Yeah. So
But
that's why I asked it.
sometimes that allows me to set the level of risk to a much higher. Also, so I think, especially with the industry as it is now, it's better to not have a very high bleed rate for me.
I see. I see. Okay. 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 We touched here a lot of topics today. Do you think like is there something that you still would like to add that we haven't touched as a topic or we haven't talked about, even if it's the game itself, even if it's your personal perspective and vision and experiences throughout the journey that you made so far with your game?
Mm. Uh, yes, I wanted to say that about balancing the one of the great perks of working in game is that you when we are talking about how it changed my experience as a gamer, I think it's quite great that when I play another game, it also gives me an idea of why they did things this way, and I think
I see.
even though it's it's not for everyone. Like even working making game on your free time, it helps you, I think, understand better why some choices were made, and I think it's quite
I see.
interesting by itself.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. So my very last question would be, what would be your advice for those people who would like to start making their own games? Because so far you had a lot of experiences, right, in making your own game. You worked on this for a lot of years, like you mentioned, and you tried to challenge yourself in every territory that you could. What would be your advice for starters or for those who are just making their first steps of the journey that they want to like start now of
Yeah,
making
that's a
their
very
own
good question
games?
because when before I started making Zodiac Legion,
Okay.
I worked on quite a few games
Okay.
that were uncommercial, but that
Okay.
were like that already had a lot of work
I see.
that went into them.
I see.
And so my advice would be like to not, if you are trying to develop, try to get experience first before trying to make it your work. Because in my situation, I was confident I would get it done in much shorter time, and I was totally off.
True.
And that
True.
was, even though I started developing games when we didn't have engines and such.
True. True. True.
Um, I think that it's very, very hard in general software development. It's very hard to know how long something will take. But in video games, it's even worse because a lot of things you've never done before.
True. True. True.
So and what maybe I should have done differently would have to keep the vision of the game I wanted to with a smaller game that
I
I
see.
could totally
I see.
like start with like a tactical game
I see.
that would roguelike or
I see.
something like that,
I see.
and then grow from of starting from the beginning project.
I see. I see. You said before in the beginning of our interview, you had your vision to keep that vision anyway, right? So started to question yourself. You stick. So it's
Yeah,
like
but
that.
so I don't know how it would have turned if I
True.
had
True.
started.
True.
So yes,
True. True. True.
that's true.
Very true.
Maybe because I was lucky to have supported me financially while if I had to fund everything through freelancing work, I would percent of the time freelance work and 20 game. I was lucky that it was the other. And
True.
so if you cannot do so long, it might be better to a small project, but only not that will be unrelated to your. Must be something that we build into it.
True. True. Right, and then you
Yes.
can like combine those aspects. game of yours. Yeah. But so you went into full into like making the
Yeah,
not small steps, but the big step work out because your game seems very awesome to me, appealing to players as well. And I'm sure that it will be like turn-based strategy and RPG appealing to people, to a lot of people. So I'm sure of it. And as I was aware, people so far love your game. So I'm happy it will have success. So yeah. Thank you for your time and for your honesty. I really
thank
appreciate
you
that,
very
and
much
it
for
was really
this.
a pleasure for me. Like I said, I will need some more of your minutes off stream. But for those who were with us today, thank you so much for joining, and thank you that you, ladies and gentlemen, were here. Also, thanks for those who will be watching our WOD or YouTube edited version later this year. And yeah, don't forget to wishlist Zodiac Legion, right? And wait for the game for next year's release. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for being here and watching us today. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. Have a nice day,
Thank you.
depending where you live. Bye bye and night. Bye bye.